In tonight's Assignment 5, 2 Chicago paramedics speak out against their department, saying the city's ambulance response system is slow and inadequate. That system came under fire last week when the Better Government Association released a critical report calling for more ambulances in Chicago. Investigative reporter Dave Savini has tonight's exclusive Unit 5 report.
Patient care, patient care, patient care. That is our priority.
Paramedics Pat Fitzmaurice and Bob Scates have devoted their careers to saving lives.
People are not getting the EMS protection that they deserve in this city.
Combined, they have more than 50 years of experience with the Chicago Fire Department. And tonight, both are speaking out against their own department's decision not to buy more ambulances to answer the growing number of emergency calls in Chicago.
It seems like it's almost murder by public policy.
And I think it is not only my right, but my obligation to question when things are going wrong that affect public safety.
Fitzmaurice says every day people in Chicago wait more than the state recommended time of 4 to 6 minutes for an ambulance. In fact, he responded to a call we first told you about last week.
His first thing getting out of that ambulance was, "I am so sorry."
It was Fitzmaurice who arrived at Maureen Fall's house 15 minutes after she called 911 when her husband Butch hit his head in their garage during a seizure. Fitzmaurice says it took the crew that long because they had to come from miles away.
Who's at risk here?
Who's at risk? The citizens, anybody who calls an ambulance.
You know by sitting here today, you're going to upset a lot of people over at City Hall.
That's City Hall. I work out in the field. I'm not a politician. I have no political ambitions.
Scates is still one of the department's top field officers, but he used to be deputy chief paramedic. He stepped down from that management position after the 1995 Chicago heat wave because he says ambulance services were, quote, anti-citizen.
I say, hands down, we're among the best in the country.
Fire Commissioner Edward Altman has an entirely different view of Chicago's emergency response system. He says response times are excellent and that no more ambulances are needed. Instead, Altman says so far the department equipped 20 fire engines with a paramedic and emergency equipment and plans to do the same for the rest of its 99 engines.
I have 6 kids and 13 grandchildren. Now, if you honestly feel that I would want to put them at risk by having a substandard EMS system, that's not a correct statement.
District 6 here, now they've got the same number of ambulances as District 3.
All this debate over Chicago's emergency response system started last week after the Better Government Association released more than 250 ambulance run sheets showing long delays. The BGA report called for at least 22 more ambulances and alleged that city officials ignored changes recommended by an EMS oversight panel nearly 13 years ago.
It shouldn't be a political issue at all.
Dr. Stanley Zidlow was chairman of that committee. He says the mayor at that time, Harold Washington, appointed the group to come up with suggestions to improve ambulance service. Dr. Zidlow says he issued a second report with recommendations in 1992, but that it was never made public and changes have been slow.
Now, this was done in 92, and you're talking to me here in 98, and only now are some things happening. It shouldn't take 5 or 6 years to get these changes going.
The way the system is now, should people in Chicago be concerned, can they depend on the 911 system?
The way it's set up there now, and by us not having enough ambulances, I will paraphrase a phrase that I heard: be afraid, be very afraid.
Fire Department spokesman Mike Cosgrove says, "We appreciate and respect the opinions of the 2 paramedics, but we don't agree with them on the issue of adding more ambulances." The paramedics say the problem is, even if a fire truck with a paramedic gets to a victim right away, it can't transport someone to a hospital. For that, you still need an ambulance. Warner and Ellison, definitely a difference of opinion here, and definitely more to come.
Clearly. Thank you.